Well, good morning, everybody. Um, Hang on just a second. Thought I was ready. Not quite. All right, that's better. Well, good morning. Finally back on Thursday morning. Been a long time. Hey, we got Annie in here, or Annette. We got Devin. We got Lynette, Coffee Angel Crafts. Good morning. And we got Gwen in here now. So that's great. We got 4 people in here so far. And yeah, I expect it to be a lot less people than usual. But yeah, people are saying hello to one another. That's great. Glad to see we got some of the regulars in here this morning. So thanks for joining us. We've had a lot going on lately. So yeah, it's good to see everybody. Missed you. So yeah, it's good over here in the mountains of Arizona. We've had about an inch of rain this week, believe it or not. So that's been fantastic, and we're expecting to get more. So let me know if it's raining in your part of the world. I know it is in some parts of the South right now, so that's exciting. I know a lot of people have been missing the rain. Annette, is it pretty cold over there? Still in Perth, Australia? Um, yeah, it looks like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got 50% chance or greater. Then Monday, 40% chance. Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday, it looks like we're going to have almost 50% chance or greater for the next 2 weeks, which is our rainy season. We're in the middle of monsoon season right now in Arizona. So the I know a lot of people think monsoons are more in like the tropics or in Asia, but in actuality, we get quite a bit of monsoons here in the summer because the rain comes from down south, down in the Sea of Cortez. It comes up, so that's um, there's a peninsula called Baja California, and then the mainland body of Mexico, and between the two, that's where the clouds form and they move up north right now. So Devin's using the weather command, as is um, as as is Devin up above. He's checking the weather for Oklahoma and for Dallas, Texas. So uh, that's good to see what the weather's like over there. So 83 degrees, 63% humidity, and well, that's weird. Farmer's Branch. Hey, good morning, Rebecca. Absolutely, it was my pleasure to come into your live stream yesterday. Double Dog did a good job narrating there and helping you out. I was glad to see it. Um, One for the property, one for the home. But why is it putting in Farmers Branch and not Dallas, Texas? Did I miss something? I'm confused. And that says it's been raining for 4 days straight, but not too cold. Oh, that's good to hear. Um, we can sure use it. It's been in the 60s. It was in the 60s all day yesterday, like mid 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And what is that in Celsius? Let's see. 15.5 degrees Celsius. So like 15 or 15 to 18 degrees Celsius yesterday over here. So it was nice. I love it. All right, there's the weather report for Perth. 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh yeah, nice. 94% humidity. Sounds like rain. And Rebecca's having Nightbot drop the weather report for Columbia, Missouri. It's important to put that Missouri in there. Rebecca knows that. All right, 75, 92% humidity. Sounds like rain over there too. Or it's been raining recently. 92% humidity is high. Oh, Farmers Branch is a suburb of Dallas. That's on the other side. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that they would do that. Especially when you type in Dallas. I'd figure it'd give you downtown Dallas. Hot as a firecracker there, Lynette. Yeah, it was pretty hot here for a while in the beginning of July, but now it's starting to cool down. We're finally getting the real monsoon rains. We were getting just clouds are just kind of spitting for a while. We were getting a little. We had a few days of rain, a few thunderstorms, but now it's coming in like consistently every day, which is really good. That's what we're looking for. I told Danielle yesterday it's a shame we don't have sheep yet because there's going to be a lot of grass. Hey, good morning, Homestead Love. Good morning, Multi Hunter 24/7. Nick, I left a comment on one of your other videos because you had comments disabled for your short that you put up this morning, I think. That was great seeing your 3-year-old daughter doing the turkey calls. Oh man, I watched it over and over again. She is just adorable. So hang on to that video. Remind yourself in 10 years or so, because my boys are 13 and 15 now, and those times when they were that young are just um, precious times, man, for sure. So that was awesome. I loved it. Um, Not raining in my part needs to. Texas, I know, Glenn. Well, we'll be praying that Texas gets some rain. Just got back from Idaho. It was 97-ish every day. I had ice crystals on my sleeping bag every morning. Yeah, that sounds like mountain camping. What was the elevation that you were at, Devin? Sounds like you're around 10,000 feet or more. And what part of Idaho? Were you in the like Sawtooth Mountains or? I'm interested. I've spent quite a bit of time up in Idaho. Uh, Sawtooth Mountains, or maybe you're on the border of Wyoming, down on the southeast corner in the Tetons. I don't know. We were in the Tetons last year, and the Teton Valley, and it was amazing. Hey, good morning, Andale. Glad that you're here. Sorry if I missed any comments, everyone. Chat's starting to move along here. Yeah, Nick, I find that YouTube does some stuff by default. Like on these live streams, they'll make them a private video after we've had them up, and obviously they're public while they're live. So I don't know if there's a default setting that you can turn off or what, but yeah, everybody, you should go check out Multi Hunter 24/7's, especially the turkey calls his daughter made. I think it should be their latest video they put up, um, but it's a YouTube short, so go check that out. And Nick, if you want to type in AZ, or anybody, you can type in AZ just like I'm doing right now, and Nightbot will drop your channel link, and then we can all connect to one another. I call these kind of live from AZ connect and grow, because it's not about me growing my channel. It's about you guys growing yours, and that's just something I want to do for all of you who show us support, is get you connected. And I know a lot of you have goals that you'd like to reach about getting more friends or family members, or however you want to however you want to put it. But we want more people to know about your channels because we got some really great people in here. So there we go. We got Rebecca, and we've got Annie, and we got Nick Multi Hunter 24/7 putting their the AZ command in there so that we can have connections to each other. And then there's Ann Dale putting in AZ as well. So hey, thanks, Lynette. I appreciate you reminding people to hit the thumbs up. I know I'm bad at remembering that when I start getting into the live streams of other people and get chatting with folks. Well, we got 11 people in here this morning. Good morning, everybody. Um, I got my coffee, and I have remembered to put it into a tumbler, an insulated tumbler, so that it doesn't go cold. I don't know why I never thought about doing that before, but I don't like cold coffee at all, not one bit. So there we go. We got the coffee right there. Good morning, Chris and Larry, my neighbors to the north. Chris and Larry live very close to us, if you didn't know that already. Um, and Yeah, Chris, I found somebody that I think you know as well on YouTube, who wants to come and get some quail from us and try out quail meat and see what it's like. So that's exciting. Probably won't happen for a little while because they don't live in the area, but give them give them some quail meat and show them how great it is. Man, we love the quail meat. Um, hey, there's Scott, rambling with the brooms. Come on, Scott. Everybody type in AZ so people can connect to your channel. That'll enable the Nightbot command to drop your channel link in the live chat. So there's Coastal Water. Good morning, Coastal Water. Hope you and Backlash and Panda are doing well this morning. All right. And there's Gwen. If you want Nightbot to drop the weather report for your area, just do what Gwen did here. Since there's multiple Huntsvilles throughout the world, Gwen put in Texas so that Nightbot knew to drop this weather report instead of some other Huntsville's weather report. So it's 81 degrees there right now, 82% humidity, just a little bit of wind. And we need to pray for rain for that part of Texas. That's for sure. All right, look, we got the Soil family in here this morning. Hey, thanks. Thanks so much, Sherry. Appreciate it. I figure it's Sherry. It's usually Sherry this time of day, I think. Might be Bobby, but good morning, Soil family. Thank you for welcoming us back. And a lady after my own heart there, Lynette. Tumblers made it sound like they can't stand up. That's good. That's good. I love it. Yeah. Nick, the domestic quail. I'll just go off on a tangent here. It's not really a tangent, but I'll talk about the flavor of quail that I've experienced. And Chris and Larry, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong in your opinion, and that's fine. But a lot of people I know who are hunters hunt quail and dove, and they say, yeah, they're pretty similar. And some people like dove more, and some people like quail more, and that's all great. But and we've had them, but the quail that we have raised, and I don't know if it's the feed or them not being out in the wild or whatever, but I think what it is that we process them uh, right away um, and use water and clean them out, and don't let their body cavities stay full after they've been dead a while. If that makes sense. I think that's how most hunters um, deal with their quail. I don't think most hunters, after shooting one quail, go and process it and clean it in water. But our quail have tasted so good. It's quite honestly our favorite poultry we've ever had, and part of that is it being so fresh. Part of it is it um, being processed. Part of it's the or how it's processed. Part of it is probably what we feed them, and we buy expensive organic feed to feed them. So that probably plays a part too. But yeah, we love quail too. I know exactly what you're saying, Nick, and would love to let everybody we know taste our quail. We don't have a whole lot yet, but I've got something to show you about the quail here pretty soon. Um, all right, people are saying good morning to one another. I'm sorry if I missed anybody who came in that I wasn't. Uh, oh, Sherry and Bobby hatched more delicious quail. Yes, that's awesome. Um, All right, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I know I was chatting about the flavor of quail there for a while, but yeah, keep typing in AZ to have Nightbot drop your channel link. Coastal Water says we are next, staying busy and staying cool. Good to hear it, Coastal. Thank you for letting me know. Um, all right, people are talking to one another. It's great. I love all of you talking to each other here. Devin says I've never eaten domesticated quail, only wild. Yeah, I think that's how it is for most people. Um, I know. I agree, Nick. Dove and quail have tasted totally different to me, but I know some people that say, yeah, they taste exactly the same. They're kind of a gamey bird, and I don't taste any gamey flavor at all on our domestic quail. So yeah, um, and I think that gamey taste, at least this is my theory, and I've said it before. I'll probably say it a whole bunch more. So forgive me if I sound like a broken record, and you've heard this before, but when you go hunting or fishing and you harvest an animal, clean it as fast as you can, process that thing, butcher it as fast as you possibly can, and bring a lot of water with you if you aren't near a water source. Obviously, if you're fishing, you're going to be near a water source, but uh, it has made all the difference, in my opinion. I've fished and hunted all my life, and I have eaten a lot of fish that I have caught from time I was really young, and they only recently started tasting really good to me. For a while, they just tasted, I don't know, not as great for whatever reason. Fish don't taste real gamey, but they taste, I don't know, more like lake water, or I don't know what you would say about that. But from what I found is that you want to you want to give them a very quick death and not let them suffer for a while and slowly die, right? A lot of people do that with their fish, but put them out, dispatch them as fast as you can, and then gut them as fast as you can. Get their innards out of there and wash it out. And it has made all the difference in the flavor of the fish or the meat for me. Does anybody else experience that? My good friend up in Idaho, who he's an amazing hunter. He told me that he will never hunt pronghorn antelope away from water anymore. He always hunts it near water now because it's his favorite meat, and he doesn't want the meat to spoil at all. So he'll put the pronghorn down and butcher it as fast as as fast as he can get to it and wash it out with that water right there immediately. So anyway, if you've heard that before, I'm sorry you have to hear it again, but I'm gonna keep repeating it because uh, I'll tell you what, when you taste meat that doesn't taste gamey at all, that tastes like the flavor it should taste like, it changes everything about the way you think about that animal and how valuable its life is. It becomes more valuable, or at least it does to me. So anyway, Gwen doesn't like cold coffee either. All right, I got a friend. Thanks, Gwen. I I appreciate that. Um, hey, Laura. I saw that you had quite a fun live stream last night. That's for sure. Man, Bob had some good good things to say about that poor squirrel. Anyway, uh, hey, the bacon's here. C plus. I don't know what that means. Sorry, bacon. I haven't seen you before. Going to sleep. All right. Have a good sleep. Take care. Uh, and Tiny Tim Posey's in here. Good morning, Tiny Tim. All right. Multi Hunter 24/7 Nick says he agrees. I assume that is talking about the flavor of the meat or the fish. And Sherry says totally agree as well. Lynette says absolutely. Okay, good. Good, good. All right. All right. Well, I made it to the bottom of the chat. We got 14 awesome people in here. Thanks so much for coming back after me being gone for so long, everyone. And I've mentioned a little bit of what we've been up to, but um, last week I put up a short little video. It wasn't a YouTube short. It was actual. I don't even know what you call them. It's a landscape YouTube video. But I took my 13-year-old son for I took my 13-year-old son for his 13th birthday to go fishing, and he didn't catch anything, and I felt pretty bad for that. But I caught a channel catfish, and it was a decent little channel catfish, and I uh, I was pretty surprised because I caught it on a crappie jig, and who did I ask about that? I forget who I was talking to, but somebody was able to guess it. But hey, zombie prepper, good morning. Glad to see you in here. All right, everybody saying hi to zombie. Um, yeah, so we did that last Thursday. I think um, I forget all the things we were up to all the other Thursdays, but we were in a softball league. We did pretty well. We made it to the semifinals, but we had a lot of people on our team that didn't really plan to go to the semifinals, including myself. And we were available to go to semifinals, but others weren't. They were actually out on vacation, and we didn't have enough people playing the semifinals. So we were the last place team in the semifinals, so we had to forfeit. So that was last Thursday, and that was the end of the softball season. But I guess we did okay since we made it to the semifinals. But we were up late at night a lot of Thursdays, and anyway, that was part of us not being here. But yeah, I don't know where Jesse is, Annie. Not sure where he is this morning. But that's quite all right. He doesn't have to be here all the time. Um, the other thing that's been going on is that we've been pretty busy with the garden. I'm trying to put up little community tab posts and pictures and short videos and other things like that to let you guys know kind of what we've been up to. But um, but yeah, it's there's been a lot going on. All right, Homestead Love, have fun at the theme park with the boys. Yeah, awesome. That sounds like a fun day. Yeah, Gwen, keep the fish alive till we clean them. I agree with that. When we were up in the Teton Valley of Idaho last summer, we got a whole bunch of trout. It was out of a community fishing pond for kids, and my son limited it out real fast. But um, we we put those fish in a cooler with water and kept them alive until we processed them, and they turned out way better too. Um, oh, I'm missing some comments. Hey, Tasha. Good morning. Glad to have you in here. Deer, Gwen says, deer get brought home and cleaned immediately. Yeah, yeah, that's a good call, and it is hard. A lot of times you don't get to the deer until hours later after you shot them, so it does take a while. But yeah, as soon as possible. That that definitely helps. Yeah, wild hogs too. Hey, no problem, man, Dale. I see your comment here, and I know that you're listening. So thanks for being in here with us. I'd I'd, I'd love to see some of those pickling of the jalapeno pickles. So, what were you processing that one time? You were cutting up something. I forget. It was on my live stream, but I forget now. I'm so forgetful. It'll come to me in a while. I know it will. But yeah, and that's something that is for real. It, man, is it for real? Um, Increasing grocery prices have have hit our family pretty hard. Um, yeah, we bought a bunch of meat when we saw it coming and filled up our freezer, uh, but we can't hatch quail fast enough. We really would like to have our freezer full of quail, but it's just I'm glad we got into it when we did. But we got a lot of produce grown in the garden, and we're trying to figure out ways to preserve it. But a lot of what we're doing is just using it right now because gas prices are high. Going to the grocery store costs more money than it did before, and then spending money at the grocery store costs more money now too. That's what it was, and it was onion tops. Now I remember. And you were freezing those, if I remember correctly. Um, there it is. So lots of people know skin and quarter and put in ice water ASAP. Yeah. So um, wild game. I have never saved money um, taking wild game or fish. Really. If you have, let me know in a comment. But for me, it's always um, I mean, I'd rather go and recreate that way than other ways and spend money. I'd rather go that way than spend $40 at the movie theater or something else. But let me know if you have ever really saved money harvesting your own meat or fish, because I really have not. Although the meat is better, the fish is better than what I can buy. So there's that, right? It's higher quality, but I've never really saved money. Hey, Zenny May, glad that you're in here. Yeah, gas with groceries. Yep, I know it's tough. I mean, tighten up those belts, folks. It's the budget doesn't go as far anymore. That's for sure. We were just talking about that, and the prices of tools and other stuff is going up too. We're trying to do some maintenance on our property here, on our house, on some of our stairs and railings and things like that. They need to be painted. Here in Arizona, it's no joke. Especially up at altitude, 5,500 feet where we're at, the sun just beats the paint to smithereens immediately. So thanks, Chris. I appreciate you reminding people to hit the thumbs up. That makes a big difference. Yeah, price of feed is ridiculous. So we bought a lot of meat and a lot of feed. I mean, kind of as much as we could for our budget. But we're going through the feed really fast, and it went up like crazy. Last night we were over at Home Depot and Lowe's, and we were looking at asphalt patch because we need to patch a part of our driveway. And I had already worked on it. We bought asphalt patch a long time ago, and we went in there, and I kid you not, it was more than double the price. I think the bags of asphalt patch that we bought not even a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, maybe it was longer, maybe it was 8 months, 10 months. But it was, so maybe it was closer to a year ago. I'm not sure. But I think it was 10 or 15 bucks a bag for the asphalt patch. And now it was 20 bucks a bag at Lowe's, but we couldn't find it because everybody had purchased all of it. And now they sell asphalt patch in 5 gallon buckets, which I don't know how that compares. 50 pounds of asphalt fit in a 5 gallon bucket, or does less than 50 pounds? I couldn't figure that out. So that's something I need to research, because the 5 gallon buckets were $40 for asphalt patch. And I just could not bring myself to buy a bunch of 40 gallon buckets or 5 gallon buckets that cost $40. I still need some coffee, folks. Um, yeah, see, Chris is doing it, living the dream. Don't go to the grocery store from July through October. That's some homesteading for you right there, folks. That's how it's done. Although I bet you go to the feed store, Chris. Let me know if you go to the feed store, because I know that you got to feed the animals, right? Um, so I'd rather go to the feed store than the grocery store, though. I must say that that would be a great swap. Hubby goes out on Boss's boat and they bring in the limo. Well, yeah, you live in Florida too, right, Zany May? That's awesome. I love hearing that. Um, yeah, the boat. See, boats cost money and gas costs money too. So you gotta figure that out too. But and lures ain't cheap, and bait and all that. And so when I figure all that stuff in, I'm never really bringing in meat or fish for less than I could purchase it for in the past. But maybe now it'd be worth it. Although gasoline for the boat would be more expensive, right? Yeah, Chris, let us know your tips. Because Chris has a big family, and if she doesn't go to the grocery store from July through October, we all need to know about that for sure. And Chris, I'm sure you've made a video about that, so let us know. Put a link for us in the chat if you would. So let's see here. Should be able to put a link in the chat, Chris. Laura says, yeah, the only thing that's come down lately is a little bit of lumber. It's down 2 books compared to when we first moved out here. Yeah, 2x4s, 8 foot long 2x4s that are not dried, right? We like to buy kiln dried stuff because the other stuff will warp on us here. In Arizona, it dries so fast, it warps. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but those green 2x4s that are 8 feet long were $4.84 at Home Depot yesterday over here. So if you know the price of 2x4s, drop them in the chat, as we need to buy a bunch to fix up some of our railings. And we're building a new chicken tractor right now, and I hope to share it with you guys, but I gotta try it out first, and then I'll make a cut list and make a whole video on what you can do to build one similar if it works out for us like I think it will. But I need to test it out first. But I'm gonna be making at least two of them, probably three or four of them, and they're gonna be modular where they can connect to each other. I think that part might be the part that I don't want to share with you because it might not work out real well. But stay tuned for modular chicken tractor video because they're going to be smaller, easier to move, easier to fit into some small spaces and things like that. But I don't know. Is that something you guys would be interested in? If you're interested in me putting up a video about our new potentially modular chicken tractor design, put a one in the comment, and we'll see. We'll see if people want a video about that. What happened to my chicken videos? That's a great question, Zany May. You started as they grow videos, haven't seen any of them for a long time. Well, I will make a video of them. They are laying eggs now. At least one or two. I think at least two of them are now. We got 6 of those chickens we got in the late winter, early spring. Yeah, there's just been too much going on. They became a lower priority, and I apologize for that. I know that it was something that a lot of people wanted to see the progression of those chicks, um, but it is what it is. I prioritized other stuff, um, and I recommend you guys do the same. Don't get too hung up on um, trying to keep going with something that when other stuff in life comes up, you gotta prioritize stuff. And to be honest, we've prioritized our family life a little bit more this summer than we had in the winter and the spring. And a big part of that is that we're a homeschool family, and we try to look for opportunities for our boys to have really good time with other kids their age that are solid kids. They're really good friends, and we had the opportunity both with the softball and with a lot of other things, and so I'm super thankful for that. Anyway, um, Chris says we buy our alfalfa by the squeeze, so that's 64 bales at a time. Awesome. Yeah, so not as many trips to the feed store, that's for sure. If you have a crush, you need to. I don't know what that means, Laura. If you don't have a crush, you need to have one. I do and get feed. You talking to Laura? I'm lost. Sorry, folks. Good morning, Chef. Listening by closed caption. Missed what link you wanted. Oh, just a link to a video of how any tips that you might have for not going to the grocery store between July and October. If you've got any videos on that, Chris, I know a bunch of us would love. And I mean, you're gonna have a good click-through rate on a title like that. I'll tell you that much. So I assume that you have one up already talking about how you don't go to the grocery store. In fact, I think I may have seen one or watched one, but I'd love to see it again. All right, Chef wants to see that design. Laura wants to see that design of the chicken tractor. All right, well, thanks for letting me know. I'll get down to the other comments here pretty soon. And that says I might start working on a mini series of videos on getting back to basics, cooking from scratch, growing your own produce. Nice. No, don't be sorry about the comments. That's what we do right here. That's what we do right here. All right. Chef is using the AZ command to have Nightbot drop his channel link. So go check out the Chef if you're not connected already. All right, Lynette. Yep, I understand. All right, we'll catch you later. Thanks for dropping in. It's really good to see you again. Okay, no problem there, Laura. Hey, Rebecca's now at the computer. Awesome. Yeah, a lot of times I'm on my phone, I get a notification that somebody went live, and I'm trying to type on my phone, and it's not like being on the computer, that's for sure. All right, so let me got 12 people in here. Let me go get a surprise for y'all. Show and tell time. So hang on just a second. I'll be right back. All right, y'all ready? So I got one of these today. Before, I didn't have one of those, and I had a problem. All right, so check it out. We hatched out these two batches of quail recently. So we got this one over here that's 1 week, and this one that's just a few days. So they're about a week apart. You see the difference? Maybe they'll stay here for me, maybe not. It's a 1 week difference with the quail, y'all. So I just wanted to show you that. It's exciting times. Oh, hey, I got a surprise in my hand. Yes, knew that would happen. So this one is about a week and a half, and already got flight feathers and stuff. So totally different. I don't know if I can angle this down. Nope. Won't see them like that. Hang on, I'm not reading comments right now, folks. Show and tell time. So they're just chilling right here on the keyboard. Whoa. So this little one just hatched out a few days ago, and they're healthy. The week-old one is a little bit more vocal, but oh no, there goes my paper towel. That's gonna end really poorly. All right, there we go. So 1 week and just a few days. Yeah, they grow so fast, Chris. I see your comment. But anyway, 1 week, couple days. So they are just about a week apart. That's kind of how we planned it. And I need to get them out of here. But just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a show here. This isn't easy, folks. Yeah, they are cute, huh, Laura? So, oh, we're gonna get rain. I heard my app go off. So anyway, this one is 1 week, about a week and a half. This one's about half a week old. All right, let me go put them back. Come on, birds. All right, I'll be right back, folks. All right, I'm back. Thanks for bearing with me. It's takes a while for me to put back quail chicks and wash my hands. Get back to y'all. Happy Thursday. Uh, yeah, hey, Chuck's in here now. Hey, thanks, Chuck. Thanks for reminding everybody. Hey, Peter Dell. I don't know that I've seen you in here before. Maybe I have. We got 12 Stones Ranch in here too. Good morning. Um, oh, hang on just a second. I've got technical difficulties. This will just take a moment. All right, Scout and I are back. What do you think, Scout? You want some of this coffee? Yes. We've taught Scout to sit when he wants to answer our question. Yes. So, you want some? Is it going to taste good? He only gets one drip of coffee a day, so it seems to not affect him negatively, at least not too much. So, good morning, Scout. All right, we got somebody else from Australia in here. Peter, glad that you made it in, Peter. Um, and my apologies for being late on all the chat and not seeing some comments here. Got a good beard day. Thank you. Yeah, the beard is coming along again. I probably need to trim it. Danielle and I have an anniversary coming up, 17 years of marriage. So we'll be celebrating that real soon here. Um, just got to find a spot to lay down in the office here. Um, yeah, I'm more prone to catch people's live streams in the morning and beyond people's live streams in the morning. Uh, yeah, thanks, Peter. And yeah, thanks, 12 Stones. Hey, Gary and Cindy are in here. I didn't know you guys were in here. Thank you. Um, yeah, Gary and Cindy, I think you missed our quail show and tell that I had going on. Thanks, Chris. Um, I was showing off some the difference between uh, quail that was only a few days old and one that was about a week and a half old. About a week apart is what they were. And we're trying to hatch out more batches of quail every week so that we can be like these guys a little bit, Chris and Larry, um, have hundreds of quail in our freezer that we can cook all at once on our smoker, and then um, take that meat and put it into different dishes and maybe preserve that or just preserve the smoked meat because smoked meat would be so great to have it just ready to go. And quail meat is really good. Hey, thanks, Chuck. And thanks, Laura. I appreciate that, everybody. Yeah, 17 years. It's pretty amazing. Um, Danielle can put up with a lot. I'll just leave it at that. Um, hey, Mayfield Ranch. Thanks for coming in. In fact, I've got a story for y'all. There's only 9 people here now, so I guess me leaving to put the quail chicks away and whatnot, having technical difficulties isn't the best, and I understand that. But uh, we uh, we had a Chuck sees 11. All right, good. I only see I see 10 now. Maybe it's slow on Streamyard. But yeah, thanks everybody for being in here. I really appreciate it. There's some really great people in here. Um, and thanks, Peter. I didn't see you saying congratulations. I appreciate that. Well, if there's 11 in here, that's awesome. Thank you all for being in here. So I've got a story. So we have had a pack rat, and Gwen, I don't know if Gwen's still in here, but Gwen made a comment on our video we put up yesterday. We did a new garden tour video for July of 2022, and I was showing everybody around, and we've got moles. And we've tried a bunch of different things to get rid of these moles, but we've got grubs. When we pulled up the potatoes, there were a lot of grubs down there, and we haven't seen grubs in previous years really in our garden. So, oh yeah, Gwen's still there. See, she's saying hi to Chuck. But anyway, I made a mistake and said, yeah, it might be the moles that are eating our tomatoes or eating. I forget what they're eating. A watermelon, the tips of the watermelon, tips of the sweet potato vine, squash, all kinds of stuff has been getting eaten above ground, not the roots. So I knew it wasn't a gopher, but we do have those grubs below the surface. So Gwen, cowgirl, she said, "Yeah, moles don't eat plants; they eat grubs or they eat insects." And I said, "Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, that's what they do." But in my mind, I was thinking, these moles are everywhere. They must be popping up and just trying trying to be omnivorous and eating the plants. Well, we've had pack rats in the past. And those pack rats, they took I think 3 of our heads of cabbage out this year and countless other vegetables. But they'll munch on they'll eat it right at the root. And they'll go and they'll take it. They'll because they're pack rats. They'll take the vegetables and they'll run off with it like Peter Rabbit or something. Um, like there's Mr. McGregor's uh, garden, and so our last name is not McGregor, by the way. But hey, Chicken Pot Pie's in here. Good morning, Chicken Pot Pie. And Aoki Homestead's in here too. Good morning. Saying hello to everybody. Type AZ and Nightbot will drop your channel link so we can all stay connected to one another. So back to my story. These pack rats we caught one pack rat and then everything kind of calmed down for a while. And the pack rats definitely go under our fence between our neighbor's house and ours, and they have a whole bunch of old like lumber and uh, garden tractors and I don't know all kinds of stuff out by their garage that they have out there. So we'll see holes underneath the fence, and the pack rats try to bring leaves of kale or cabbage or whatever underneath the fence, and they'll leave some. So we know what they're doing and where they're going, and that they're pack rats. And we caught one, and the problem diminished significantly. And we caught it in one of those live traps. It's like a have a heart trap where it's a metal rectangle, and the doors go down once the bait plate is hit. But anyway, that solved it for a little while, and blocked up some of the holes with rocks and stuff, and seemed to kind of diminish for a while. And then these moles moved in, and the moles haven't seemed to really bother our garden. But then we started noticing that stuff was missing, and the tips of plants were gone. And Mrs. T with the T, I got some mail from you. So thank you for sending that. I'm going to be doing mail call here real soon. So your mail will be in that mail call. I also got some from Danny Days. I got some from um, Cody over at Hog Deer 79. So we'll be doing mail call video here real soon, and I can't wait for more of your friends over at your channel to come over here and rate us. That would be awesome. So I'm in the middle of a story though. Big Rooster Show. All right, here comes the Mrs. T Raid. Miss T Raid coming in. Awesome. Ours dig up the yard looking for moles. Yeah, our dogs know not to go into our garden because we put up hot wire around our garden, and so the dogs got zapped when they first went in there when we first put up the garden, and that caused all the dogs, not just our two dogs, but my parents' dogs and my in-laws' dogs, any dogs that visit our place, they've gotten zapped when they try to come into our garden in the past. But now we don't have any hot wire up around the garden, so they just stay out. Thankfully so. They'd rip that thing up looking for those moles. We've got some good mousers over here. These dogs, they catch gophers, rats, and mice on the regular. They're really good at it. Ark Wildman Survival, good morning. Glad to see you in here. Let's see. Gwen says, I have moles in my garden. The only issue they cause is water washing where it shouldn't. Yeah. We've tried to flood them out. We've tried to do all kinds of stuff to try to get rid of them, but we're just trying to live with them now. But so I thought, and I misspoke on my video I put up yesterday, that the moles maybe were eating our vegetables. And all right, we got East Dad in here. Good morning, East Dad. Thanks for coming over from Ms. T. That's great. I missed Miss T's live stream this morning because I was in here doing ours. I've been doing ours on Thursday mornings for, I don't know, since October. But I've missed, a couple months now, folks? I forget. But Yeah, it's a long time coming. I'm glad that I'm back in the saddle here and seeing all you folks again. It's been great. I miss y'all. Yeah, welcome one another and type AZ Eastad if you would. That I'll type it right now. I'll lead by example. Type in AZ. Oh, and Dale, you beat me to it. Yeah, type in AZ. I'll drop your link, and then we can all connect with you. So type in AZ. Nightbot will drop your link. Hey, Janet. I miss Janet in here. Thanks, Laura, for saying hi to Janet. Homestead, where you are. Um, yeah, so see, when you type in AZ like and Dale did, Nightbot will drop your channel link so others can go and connect. There we go. East Dad's typing in AZ, so go connect to East Dad. Yeah, you're right about that, Peter. Yeah, so speaking of my story to tell, so I was thinking maybe these moles are after our plants because they're not finding maybe the insects underground that they're looking for. So I I set up the trap and thought maybe we'll catch a pack rat or a mouse or maybe we'll catch one of these moles. And sure enough, we caught this gigantic female pack rat that had definitely been nursing some pups or I don't know what you call baby rats, uh, kits, pups. I don't know. Scout's bored with my story. My dog Scout's right here next to me. Oh yeah, praise God for that, Cindy and Gary. Yep, we're getting some rain too. We've already got an inch this week, and we're getting more right now. So this up, caught this big pack rat. Um, but before we caught the pack rat, we caught a king snake in the trap. A king snake in the rat trap, and this is a live trap, right? So the whole king snake is about 4 feet long. Everybody, it was 4 feet long. Baby rats. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Chuck. They're not pups. They're not kits. They're baby rats. So anyway, she definitely had some baby rats somewhere. So we're glad to catch her. And I disposed of her, so she's gone. Hopefully, we won't have all of our tomatoes missing and cabbage and everything else. But we caught a king snake, y'all, in this rat trap. That's the have a heart rat trap. So it keeps the rat alive in there until you can deal with it. And which is good because sometimes you get something that's not that you didn't want to catch, right? Thank goodness we never caught a skunk in there or anything, but some other animals you don't want to just kill them. So uh, this king snake we didn't want to kill either, right? It's eating rats and mice, and it's our number one defense against these rodents that are trying to eat all of our homestead garden. So we uh, we were happy to see that there's a king snake, but sad that we caught it. And so I was going to go release it. It was dead in there. I was so bummed that this king snake had died in there, and I felt horrible. But, but there were no mice in there. There were, I mean, we had caught a couple mice a couple days before, so it probably smelled like mice in there. But we caught this king snake. So this is just the beginning of the story, everybody. This is not, it's not even the real part of the story yet. Um, Pups or pinkies? Yeah, pinkies. There you go. That's the word I was looking for, Chris. Thank you. Baby rats are called pups. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna call them pups. Chuck, you can keep calling them baby rats, but that's fine. Yeah, connect to one another. We need everybody to be connected here. This family needs to grow and connect. Stay connected to one another. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There's some really good channels in here right now that you'd be amazed what kind of content you get put up. Pathways Homestead, they made me a video just for me and old Chuck, I think, about sharpening a chainsaw and the right way to do it. And I was so thankful for that. I felt so special that they made a chainsaw sharpening video? I was just talking about needing to learn about it." And they said, yeah, we can put that up." So Gary got out there and showed me his whole chainsaw setup and all that. So Annie, the king snakes are not venomous, and thanks for not saying poisonous. That's that's one of my pet peeves, and I don't know why I cling on to that so much, but I don't like when people confuse venomous and poisonous. Poisonous, you got to eat it for it to kill you. Venomous, you don't. It can inject venom into you somehow. So, uh, like spiders, venomous, right? Toads, poisonous. All right. So Annie got it right. She lives in Australia though. She better get it right. There's so many things that can kill you in Australia. But yeah, we got a bunch of snakes here in Arizona. A lot that are venomous. King snakes are not venomous. They are called the king snake because they will eat all other snakes. I think they'll eat rattlesnakes, and so a lot of people really love finding king snakes on the property because they'll take care of any venomous rattlesnakes that come on the property. So good question, Annie. But so we caught this king snake in the trap, right? And I'm so bummed out. My son and I, we saw it. Oh, we were so sad because a 4 foot long king snake that is going to eat a lot of rodents on our property, and it's probably been there for years. And this is the first time we'd seen it. We've seen a lot of other garter snakes and gopher snakes, which are also not venomous. But we took this king snake, and I said, well, we could either throw it in the trash or we could put it in the compost. And I know a lot of people are grossed out by any kind of meat or whatever being in compost, but I'll tell you what, if you have a big enough compost pile and it's hot enough in the middle, you can compost anything. Yeah, anything that's that was living at one time, you can compost it. So anyway, we threw that in the compost, and I dug down a little bit, but it was at night, and I thought I dug down deeper than I did. This is where the story gets interesting. So, I, I'm sorry, I'm missing some comments. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Oh man, there's some good comments in here. Oh yeah, we got Ms. T with the T raid. We got more people coming in. Uh, Good morning, our Rocky Dream. I hope you got some rain over there. Um, yeah. All right. Well, I'll come back and get your comments here in just a minute. But I gotta finish this story. I get so distracted. Um, Happy Thursday, y'all. All right. So we caught this king snake. It's dead. Put it in the compost pile. Digging down. Put it in. Cover it up. Danielle had just flipped the compost from. So we have two wood compost bins, and they're, I don't know, about 4 feet, 5 feet tall, and made out of pallet wood. I got a video on how I built those if you're curious. But the front of them, each board comes out, and Danielle had put all the boards in one, taken them out of the other, put it in there, and then she started filling the other one and took all of its boards out of the front so you can load it up in the bottom of it. So she loaded it up, and my parents, they save their food scraps and stuff for us, like the coffee grounds, watermelon rinds, all that stuff. Some of it, if it's fresh enough, we'll give it to the chickens. If it's something they like watermelon rinds, they love watermelon rinds. So we'll give them to them first, then we'll pull them out of there with the rake, throw them in the compost bin. I'm telling you, if you guys aren't composting, I don't care who you are, if you're not gardening or whatever, right? Who you are, if you're not composting, you're missing out. You're throwing away stuff that is like black gold. I'm telling you. If you have compost, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed with all your old trash that you were throwing out, any kind of food scrap. Like I said, you can compost anything that was alive at one time. Some roots, a dead plant that died, throw it in there, right? and the soil too. Throw it all in there. Whatever it is, anything, any kind of the tops of carrots, the I don't know, skins of potatoes, all kinds of stuff. Throw it all in there. Coffee grounds, tea bags, all of it. It'll all compost. Even your shredded documents, stuff like that. You can throw all of it in. Newspaper, cardboard, all of it. Finer you chop it, the faster it'll decompose. Anyway, ran over with the compost, but everybody should be compost. I don't care if you live in a studio apartment. You should be composting somehow, some way, even in a small amount, or at least give it to someone else who will, because that stuff it's valuable. All right, so king snake's in the compost bin. It's the one that's full. I go in to tell Danielle, hey, king snake was dead. I put it in the compost. She says, you put it in there deep. And I am thinking in my brain, she doesn't want it on the surface, flies and decomposition and stinking and everything. I said, yeah, I put it in there. I put it pretty deep in there, but it'll decompose. It's in the hotter part of the compost. Don't worry about it. But don't go in there because there's a snake in there. She's deathly afraid of snakes. So that was the end of that conversation. Well, the next day I get her coming up. I heard a big scream, and I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, she took the pitchfork to the top of the compost pile, and apparently she went a little bit a little bit too deep, and I went a little bit too shallow with burying that king snake in there. I'm going to take ownership. I should put it in there deeper. Is that night I didn't take the time to put it in all the way to the bottom or even more than halfway down. She took some off the top to put on the new stuff because my parents had their food scraps sitting there for a bit and it started to stink a little bit. Compost doesn't stink if you keep on it and you keep a big enough pile and it's not just a bunch of stuff that's been sitting inside of a bin for a while, but it had been um, before we put it there. So so she goes in with the she, she goes in with the pitchfork and she scoops out this and she speared the king snake, y'all. She speared it and it's speared on the end of this pitchfork and she just drops everything and runs in here, lets out a big scream. I felt so bad. I felt horrible. But anyway, we don't try to bring that up too often because we have brought it up a few times, but it opens an old wound. So anyway, I put that king snake real deep in that compost pile after that, and yeah. So word to the wise: don't. If your wife is or your husband is afraid of snakes, you find a dead one on the property, or you kill one on your property, or whatever. Don't put it at the top half of the compost pile. Thanks for laughing with me, Laura and Rocky Dream. Yeah. Um, all right. We got Mick the Shiznit up in here. My king snake used to eat 5 garters a day. My bull snake will also eat other snakes. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Uh, yeah, king snakes are just amazing. They are such an amazing creature. They're beautiful. They're kind to people. I've picked up numerous king snakes. I've never had one bite me. But they will just a warning. If you pick up a wild king snake and you're trying to hang on to it, they're going to try to get away, right? It's like any kind of wild thing. But you pick them up, they're going to musk you, and that means that they're going to let something out their rear end, and it's going to stink. Let me tell you, it stink real bad. So be ready for that. I made the mistake of wearing gloves before, my mountain bike gloves, when I was on my mountain bike, and those gloves I had to throw them just out because you don't get that off you. It's not like being skunked, but it's a musky smell. I don't know. Those king snakes got musky musk. Yeah, don't forget cardboard. That's right. you compost that cardboard. I found that it helps to soak cardboard, at least here in Arizona, where other people are, where Hedgehog's homestead came from, up in Oregon, the Northwest. Other places, maybe the South. Other places where it's wetter, might you might not want to do that. You might want the dry stuff to throw in there, um, but cardboard, I found if you soak it, it kind of falls apart too, and it's easier to. I just kind of tear it up and throw it in there. So I have a video somewhere on that. Oh yeah, camel spiders. Oh no, don't talk about those. Um, uh, I'm in a closet. Pretty much, it's pretty small. Um, yeah. All right. Let's see. Elaine's here. Hey, Elaine. Elaine's one of our neighbors nearby too. And Elaine has an amazing homestead garden going on up there. She lives a little bit closer to Chris and Larry, but yeah, I really appreciate you being in here, Elaine. Yeah, I scared Danielle half to death. I, I still feel really bad about that. But there's a lot of lessons to learn in homesteading, and some of them are just those type of lessons of how to work well with your partner, right? I could not do this on my own, not at all. And it's so great having Danielle do all the stuff that she does. And to be honest, she had taken on um, she had taken on turning the compost because I was busy doing other stuff this summer, and so she had started flipping that compost. And Danielle, I can't thank you enough. Sometimes she'll watch these live streams and see what everybody was saying. She may be on watching right now, or she may be out in the garden, or I don't know. Um, but Danielle, thank you so much for turning those compost piles. It really means a lot. I was doing that a lot, and it takes a lot of strength to move a ton of compost every month, back and forth, and it's really made a big difference. So, um, yeah, can't thank my wife enough. Aoki Homestead says I let Western ribbon snakes raise a bunch of babies in my compost last year. Little babies hissed at me the rest of the summer. Wow, yeah, Danielle definitely would not be turning the compost anymore if we had a bunch of baby ribbon snakes in the compost pile. I know, right? Is that Cindy or Gary? I don't know which one. Maybe it's both of you watching at the same time, but I felt so. I still feel really bad. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, the colubrids do for sure. I don't know. I don't know if every snake does. I had a rosy boa, and I don't think it ever released musk. But and I had a Colombian red-tailed boa, and it didn't ever musk me either. I don't know. Maybe boas do. East Dad's back. Yeah. Mine took care of all my mice in my goat pen. Yeah. King snakes. I was thinking about maybe breeding snakes. I had we bred leopard geckos for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years when we lived in San Diego. It was exactly a decade ago. I think 10 years ago. We were breeding leopard geckos. And I've had this idea for a long time that I should be breeding gopher snakes and king snakes, and just populating the area with them because they're great. But they do a pretty good job themselves, just living wild around here. We found it was probably 7 or 8 foot long gopher snake on our road, basking in the sun in late May, early June, sometime in then. But it was an amazing snake. I didn't want it to get run over, so I grabbed it and pulled it off the road. It didn't musk me. It was super calm. It was awesome. So uh, yeah, I thought also of some other ideas about how to try to keep those snakes on your property from keep them from going other places. But um, yeah, there's no. Oh, I haven't caught a fox snake before. Um, yeah, see, we got some good composters up in here. Let me know if you guys have a compost pile, or if you don't, let me know why. Um, I sure like to promote compost and soil health in general. Hey Elaine, I got a question for you. Uh, Back to Eden, is that what it's called? The wood chip deep mulch. I don't know what you call it. I'm using the wrong words, but Back to Eden. Are you familiar with that? Where you use like 4 to 6 inches of wood chips on top of your garden, your fruit trees or whatever, and you just keep piling mulch on there. We do the kind of no-till, kind of deep compost method, where we just keep piling compost on every year, and we don't pull up our plants afterwards. We don't use a rototiller. We just cut them off at the surface and keep piling compost on, and then plant again the next year. But this Back to Eden method, we have some friends that have been doing it, and they just started. But I've heard mixed things about it. I hear that it really helps with conserving water. So, yep, gardeners need snakes. Absolutely, I'll get behind that every day of the week, twice on Sunday. Yeah, New Jersey up in here. Awesome. We may be doing a rock show over there this fall. Hey, I heard about that. I think the Gem and Mineral Show over here. Um, is it in Prescott Valley? It'd be fun to meet you, a Rocky Dream. It can be really hard work. I like constructing new things for the property, like the chicken tractor we're building right now. It should be it should be a really good design. I think my 15-year-old son and I have been coming up with lots of ideas for it, and we're kind of getting consultation from my dad and a few other guys I know to try to figure out how we can make it modular. So, um, yeah, it can be a lot of work, but it can sure be rewarding. And just knowing your property and what the current state it's in is really enjoyable. Ooh, from Oklahoma originally. All right, East Dad. Yeah, it's good. Good to get to know you. Um, Gwen says, my garden and my goat barn are a happy place, except when it's 100 plus degrees. It's sweaty and not fun. I know, right? What's funny is that I would love being out in the garden, making projects, doing all sorts of stuff in the middle of winter, but not the best time. There's not a whole lot of daylight. Um, the slide I've got on me right now, I should probably do a review of it. I think I've said that before, but it's really helped me work on some projects late at night already. It's a really good light for working outside, and it can be battery powered or AC powered, and now it's connected to an extension cord. So um, both Gary, we got Gary and Cindy. Well, Gary, thanks again for your chainsaw video. Chuck and I were both saying how much we love that you guys made that for us, and Cindy for being behind the camera, right? And editing too, I'm sure. So thank you both so much for that. It really meant a lot, and I'm just really impressed with Pathways Homestead and the content that they put out. There's a video that was suggested to me from your channel recently, and I think it was about raising pigs, like an easy pig setup. That's from a while back, I believe. But I love that. Love that video. It's great. Yeah, I know she breeds ball pythons. Well, there you go. MC said my reticulated python musk and pea. Hmm. Well, I've never had a python. Never handled one. I don't think. Maybe I did when I worked at the veterinarian a long time ago. But I don't remember. Gwen has little geckos down in her part of Texas. Don't know what variety they are, but I haven't seen any since it got so hot. Oh wow. Maybe they're underground. Um, Elaine says, I love composting now that I got it to heat up. Been sitting at 130 degrees for weeks now. Finally got the browns to greens right. Yeah, that can be a challenge, but I found that it either dries out real fast if you have too many browns in there, or it gets real kind of soupy if you've got too many greens in there. So I'll just, honestly, I'll keep some browns around in a bag. It doesn't matter what kind they are. It could be old deciduous leaves that fell in the fall that I'll keep in a trash bag and keep them dry, and then I'll throw them in there if it gets too soupy. And then greens are the hard one because in the fall through spring, it's hard to find enough greens to throw in there unless you've got a really good lawn and you live in a warmer climate. Um, but that's kind of what we do. Greens, coffee grounds are a good source of greens. If you drink coffee like I do, and Danielle does, then you've got quite a bit of coffee grounds. But table scraps and all that are pretty much all greens too. So keeping the browns around is kind of what we found is a good way to keep that browns to green ratio right. Is that we'll pile in the greens from the kitchen scraps and the yard and garden and everything, and then we'll put in enough browns so that it stays hot but not soupy. So hope that makes sense. Do you have to have permits to breed local snakes? Probably, yes. I would assume so. However, I don't know about Arizona, but when we lived in California, we bred reptiles. If you have them from a captive population, if they were bred captively, you buy them, buy captive specimens, and you breed those captive specimens. I don't think you need a permit, even if it's a native species like king snake or corn snake or something like that, gar snake. But I don't think you're allowed to keep um, venomous reptiles without a permit, and you're probably not allowed to release captively bred snakes into the wild. So yeah, I may be talking about something illegal. So don't follow my advice without getting your own legal counsel. I compost everything. Yes, I love it. Yep, back to Eden. That's what we do. Oh, nice. Well, Danielle's been to your property, but I haven't yet. So, yeah, yeah, come take a tour. Maybe I need to do a video if you'd let me interview you or something. I only have poop compost because my pigs and chickens, my scraps and wheat. Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. Really, I mean if you can have them digest things for you, then yeah, but see, we want a whole bunch of deciduous trees that we can collect the leaves from. I'm serious. The leaf, what do you call it? Leaf mulch? Leaf leaf mulch? Is that what it's called? It's the best. It's the best compost there is. I haven't found anything better than a bunch of deciduous leaves that break down. And mixing in greens with it is just even better. But even if you just left a pile of leaves that were really um, finely broken down, that's like the best. I just love it. Um, am I anywhere even close to the bottom of the comments? No, it's not. Let's go down here. We got Raquel, Cottonwood Ranch. Hey, y'all, type in AZ again so that people can connect to your channel. There's a limit to local snakes too. I believe it's 2. All right, Nick. Yeah, you have a good day too. Shelby was mentioning it the other day. Yeah, I think if you have a fishing and hunting license, you can collect wild snakes. But every state is different, and I don't know about any. I don't even know about Arizona. I haven't really collected any herps at all here. Herps being reptiles and amphibians. Ever do biochar? I haven't done biochar yet. I'd like to. You know who did a video on it? Was Life with Belinda and Chuck. All right, Peter. Yeah, have a good sleep. 12 a.m. Friday morning here. Great chat. Yeah, great having you in here. Um, I'm reading through some of these older comments here. I have to look into this. Gary and Cindy, Ruth Stout method. Man, there's so much to learn from one another. I just love it. Wet cardboard and wood chips attracts fire ants. You know what? Orange oil and dish soap on the fire ants. What is Wickenburg? Wickenburg is a town just south of us. It's kind of the high desert, 3,000 to 4,000 feet, I think. It's Wickenburg is where all the cowboys go. Uh, Wet cardboard first kills the weeds, then thick wood mulch. Been doing it 7 years now. Yes, holds all the moisture. Well, that is awesome, Elaine. We're fixing to get some uh, wood chips and mulch from tree trimmers brought to our house here again. Um, but the guy won't bring it yet. So, yeah. I'm still where you are. Typing in AZ. Yeah. Connect to one another here. Also, wet it and cover with a black tarp. We're talking about the compost pile. Yeah, that'll help. It's hard to keep the moisture in the compost here in Arizona. I treat my compost piles like they're a potted plant. And so whenever we water our potted plants, like we've got a few trees in um, 5 to 15 gallon pots. And when we water those trees, I know it's time to water the compost too. So Ms. Queen T is in the building. Good morning, happy Thursday. How are you feeling this morning? I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The reticulated pythons in Florida are just absolutely nuts. They're huge. They are huge pythons, and they will eat the alligators there. So yeah, that's really. I mean, they have just started taking over there. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. That's that's no good. Yes, come for a visit. I'll give you a tour. What we're doing. Awesome. Yeah, I know Danielle would like to come back too because when she came before, I don't think she got a chance to really talk to you at all, Elaine. Maybe in the very beginning, just saying hello, but I know that she'd like to just hear what you have to say. I think your husband maybe gave her a tour. I don't remember exactly what she said, but yeah. Um, all right, go milk freedom. Yeah, good to have you out here on the live chat, Gary and Cindy. And if you guys haven't connected to them, you've been missing out. So go connect to Gary and Cindy at Pathways. Um, yes, here is good wisdom right here. Just be careful about the hay and straw you use because most are sprayed with herbicide. Wreak havoc with your garden for years. Yep. Yeah, and it's hard to find any kind of organic straw. So yeah, that's one of the things that we have been worried about with the tree trimmers, but most of the trees around here aren't sprayed. So we've got a good chance of not having any herbicide on uh, those wood chips. But yeah, it's rough. Um, and straw and hay are so expensive now. I mean, they've doubled in price. Have you guys heard about the livestock auction lines that are happening. The Shepherdess, you guys follow the Shepherdess at all? She's got cattle and sheep that she raises in Texas, and I really enjoy her channel. I think every one of her videos is scripted, and it sounds scripted, um, but they're great. She's got great information, and um, she doesn't pull any punches. She just gives you the straight info. Um, I'll put her channel link in there. Hopefully, it doesn't autoplay. Oh yes, it is. Sorry, but anyway, I think it's Harmony Farms is her name of her farm, and she's small time, um, but she got 51,000 family members over there. Her name's Grace, and she always has cool scripture after her videos that I enjoy. But yeah, Harmony Farms, Grace the Shepherdess. She talks about the livestock auction lines being 3 miles long down there in Texas because people can't feed their animals. Gwen, you probably know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've already left a comment. Yep, that's it right there. Yeah, the cattle. And so Grace, the shepherdess, was talking about um, buying cattle now if you don't have any cattle, starting a herd. I think she was even talking about buying a bull. I guess you could buy straws or whatever and impregnate your cattle if you need, your cows if you need to start a herd. But she said start them now because start your herd now if you've been thinking about it because there's a surplus and so the prices are low, but you have to have food for them. So if you have no pasture or whatever, then you're going to be out of luck just like everybody else. Uh, but I just thought it is going to be painful for it's already. I mean, Annie over there in Perth, Australia, was talking about it on the live stream already this morning about how we're hurting. Gasoline and the cost of food is just causing our budgets to not go very far. But if you've got livestock and you got to pay for hay, you don't have a good pasture growing, or you don't have rain to grow that feed, that forage, then you got to sell. You got to sell them before they starve to death, right? So, um, yep, it's here too. In 2011, we had to sell 85% of our herd to 125. It sucked. We are in okay shape now, but we need rain. Yeah, I'll be praying for that rain, Glenn. You better believe I'll be praying for that rain for you guys. Our Rocky Dream says, if you all have Joshua trees for the fallen ones, the fiber retains moisture really well. Wow, that's a great tip. Yeah, but it's a really good tip. I like that. Hey, Chris and Larry, if you can hear me, Rebecca says she's been waiting for your call. Ranchers having to sell cattle because they have no grass. Yep. Yeah, that would be horrible, Glenn, to have to dig out all the dirt out of your garden. Yeah, all right, Elaine. Have a good time milking your goats. I know Danielle would like to get some type of dairy animals. I think she'd really like to get a Jersey cow, but definitely don't have the property for that. We don't have property where we can legally have goats unless we do 4-H, which would be pretty cool. But we'd only be able to do that for a season. Um, yeah, but having some dairy animal would be pretty awesome. Then we'd like to try those Bresse chickens that people feed milk to. You guys familiar with the Bresse chickens? Hey, Chuck's still here. More Chuck. Called once, no answer. Super busy with orders. Rebecca. All right. Well, we got a few more minutes left. So I don't know what else I could talk about this morning. I'm probably forgetting some big stuff about our property. We're still looking for a property with my parents, a bigger property. We've looked at some that had some good potential, but they would have needed a whole lot more to make them um, what we really need. So we haven't pursued them, and a lot of them they're asking a ton of money for, like everything, right? So we need to be good stewards and be financially wise about stuff. So Glenn says, I love having my Nigerian dwarf dairy goats. More than enough milk for us. Unless you have a really large family, dairy cow is overkill. Yeah, absolutely. Dairy cow is overkill. Danielle's thinking about maybe like a mini Jersey. And my sons, they can drink some milk, but they can't drink that much milk. I mean, 4 gallons a day, I think that's what they produce, right? And goats are great, but she's always wanted a Jersey cow, always, for a long, long time. Hey, Justin, thanks for being in here. If you came in earlier, I'm sorry I missed it and didn't say hello. But I put a StreamYard link up here, so I don't know, Chuck, if you can come on, that would be great. Or Chris, or any of our other friends, come on up and we'll have a discussion here. But hope all of you have enjoyed the live stream this morning. Glenn says I'm milking 2 right now. A quart and a half a day. That's just about right. Only milk once a day too. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'd like to learn more. We've got a friend in our mutual assistance group, a real close friend of mine, who had dairy goats, and he loved them, but he lived right on the edge of the national forest, and mountain lion loved his goats more than he did. So, hey, good morning, Chuck. We also got Chris in here.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Leave me stuck between two. Oh man, I was stuck between 2 greats. 2 great Arizona.
Can I do it again? There you go.
He's in an Arizona Oreo right now.
I'm an Oreo.
You're an Arizona Oreo.
That's right.
Cream of the crop.
That's right. Let's do this.
Yeah, that's probably better. That's probably better. She's holding us up.
Yeah, that's right. Good work, Chris. You do so much already, and then you holding both of us up as well. Yeah. So what are both of you up to this morning?
It's fair season. I don't sleep during fair season. I've got so many orders coming in and out right now. I got 11 more orders last night on my website. So yeah, so we've got 25 shirts to run today, plus like 18 signs. So yeah, my kids are like, do we ever see our mom? I'm like, when fair's done, you can see mom again.
So tell me more about fair season. How does that go for you?
Well, it's
fair season.
Oh, fair season. Yeah, it's for us. What it is because we're doing shirts and tumblers and stall signs for the kids all over the U.S. Yep. Buyers gifts, cutting boards, things like that. So we just run them. It's my machine is off. I shut it down so that it could rest for a little while, and then it'll be back up and running again for our lasers. But yeah, so. Yeah, we've got lists and lists to go through today. I actually have to run to the hardware store because we're getting low on wood for the right size. So
does your house heat up with all of those orders being processed?
It does, because I've got heat presses going that are 400 degrees plus the laser machine. So we have 2 fans in here plus the air conditioner running.
It couldn't be in winter, could it?
No. When I can heat the house up with laser machines and whatnot. So
Our fairs are generally like in the fall.
yes.
Most of them.
Yeah, in our area, Verde Valley started in April, and then Coconino, which is up in Flagstaff, that one is in July, and then Yavapai County is in September. So we've got the whole deal. But because of my online stuff, I end up doing things for all over. Like I've got a box of stuff going out to Dillon, Montana today. That's 17 stall signs for a 4-H group.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I've got, these are all t-shirt orders that I have to go through and do today, that I have to pull the shirts. And they're all different stock animal shirts for different groups.
So you're making a bunch of videos this week?
Yeah. Yeah, probably not so much. I noticed that. I'm like, oh, what day? It's Thursday. I was supposed to drop a Tuesday video and a Thursday video and a short. I'm like, well, it is what it is. I guess I'm taking this week off. So
well, man, Chris, I feel honored that you came up on that. You were on the live stream at all. So thank you for that. I guess I was break every once in a while.
What I use closed caption a lot of times. So it's funny. So as I'm catching things, especially if I've got machines running, I can read the chats. And this morning I saw something about drop this link, Chris, and I'm like, I have no idea what he said because I wasn't looking at the screen for that minute before. So
sorry to give you more work.
That's all right. I figured I needed the break anyway because I've been up running since 4 on this stuff this morning already. So
yeah, I just figured you probably had a video already with some type of title saying we don't buy groceries a big part of the year. In fact, I thought I had seen it somewhere. You have a video?
I know I have a blog post. I may not have a video, so I'll have to find it and see if I do.
Maybe that's where I saw it on your website. Yeah.
But yeah, it's preparing your pantry. We don't go to the store. I don't have time, for one. I don't have time, and I don't want to spend the money when we're growing out our meat and our vegetables anyway. Yep. We do most of our own dairy as it is with our goats. I'm actually drying off my goats right now. I've got a couple babies left on mamas, but we're trying to let them get real nice and healthy for the winter season. Yep. So we're drying off right now, but we have an entire deep freeze full of milk right now. And we're starting that through the freeze dryer as well to start emptying that back out because we have meat coming. So yeah, so I don't do grocery store shopping very often. Every once in a while I'll just go get some vegetables that we don't have, or stock up on things like, spaghetti sauce or whatever, that if I don't have enough tomatoes coming through, then we'll stock up on cases of things. But we pantry shop is how we do it. So we don't do a lot of processed. I mean, I've got some in there. The kids every once in a while are like, we want macaroni and cheese. That's not Mom's. We want the Kraft box powdered cheese. And it's like, oh, yuck. But the teenagers go through that phase. Or Berlin and his Takis. He has a case of Takis right now. But we call it pantry shopping. So we go to Costco and we buy only ingredients. We don't buy the full-fledged items. So I buy 50 or 100 pounds of flour at a time, and then we jar that up for later. And so we don't, because of our schedules, and Larry's getting the schools ready right now for school start next week. So I haven't seen that man. The first time I saw him in the last 2 weeks was on a family therapy session for our son Tristan yesterday via video. Uh-huh. That's the first time I've seen Larry for 2 weeks because he's getting ready to the school district. So, so between our two schedules, but like I said, we just don't go to the store. It's the feed store. I order my feed ahead of time. So I order by the squeeze for alfalfa. I actually ordered 2 squeezes and we're starting to get low. So that's the next thing I have to do and have that brought in. And when you buy it like that, you do get a little discount. Not that it's much of a discount right now because it's more than what I was buying it for last year for individual bales. But we do that. And then same with the quail food. If we buy 20 bags at a time when we go to Tractor Supply and get 5% off or whatever. So
yeah, that definitely helps.
And stock up.
Look, I see that you got a major fan right next to you there. I knew you had a bunch of fans, but I didn't know you had one right next to you.
Blow it this way, Chuck, please.
Well, the fan comes out during the summertime. I generally don't use. Blenda likes it in the kitchen when we're canning and doing things like that because it heats up a little bit, and she gets hot very, very. Me and her are complete opposites. I get cold easy, and she gets hot easy. So it works out. She gets the covers, and I don't, or I get the covers, and she don't. So my biggest thing.
What are you up to today, Chuck?
Today, I'm not. I'm just a regular old everyday life, day in the life of Chuck. Just piddling around the garden. I got a few little errands I've got to run here, and some folks I got to check on. But it's just life. It's just life. I got my baby rabbits are growing.
Yeah. How many did you have again?
What's that?
How many did you have again?
I can't remember now. I think I got like 5. I had several of them. A couple of them die. A couple of them my fault because I didn't have my cage set up right. But I think I got like 5 of the first batch still alive and 3 of the second batch still alive. So I think we've lost 3 out of all of them.
Yeah, I think you had 11 originally, if I remember right. Now you have 8. Is that?
Yeah.
Am I doing math right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure they get kind of hard to see when they get up in all that fur, when I'm digging around trying to find them all. But they're starting to get actually a good size. The first batch. It's kind of amazing how fast the difference. You're showing the quail earlier.
Yeah.
The difference in size. We had the first batch born either Monday night or Tuesday morning. And then the second batch was born on Friday.
Okay.
So that's 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And the first batch is like twice as big as the second batch.
Isn't that fun when you have ones you can compare with? I love that.
Yeah. I didn't realize they grew that fast. It's kind of amazed me. Let's see. Chuck,
Morning, Danny.
For tomorrow, I have never done an interview on someone else's live, and I'm not a chatty person. I'll come up with some questions, Raquel.
You got Raquel coming up on the live stream, huh?
Yeah. She's going to be on ours tomorrow evening, but she's a little bit nervous. But I tell you what, she had me on hers, Nick, and she had me running all over the place. I mean, I hadn't had that much exercise in 10 years, and I had to rest up for a week.
Did you win? I can't remember who won. Who won?
No, I came in second out of 3. Of course, there was 2 tied for first, but yeah, she had me running all over the house, and it wasn't fair because Jesse had Lisa doing the running for him. He was just sitting there in the. I don't look so excited. I'm excited. I'm real excited. Jesse had Lisa running everywhere, and he was just sitting there in front of the computer. And me and who was with me? Oh, Glenn, gathered together. Me and him was having to run back and forth, and Glenn is young. You know what I'm saying? He's young. He's working out, getting ready to go elk hunting in September, and so he's in shape. I'm not. See, it was rigged. It was
rigged.
It was rigged. It was rigged.
Jesse does bribe all of us with jams and
vanilla.
Vanilla, all kinds of stuff, right?
Hashtag Chuck did not win.
Oh man,
that ain't right, Raquel. That ain't right.
Hey, there's Jesse. He heard you talking about him.
Hey, there is Jesse. Nag, 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 nag. Raquel always talks about I'm a whiner. I whine all the time, but that's just untrue. I just whine when she's around. She brings out the wine in me.
That makes sense.
But we don't have nothing going on, Nick. It's just that my life is so boring. I don't have the excitement that Chris has. She's always going and doing this and that and
not today. Today I'm tired.
Today you're tired, yeah.
Yeah, I actually have to run over by Nick's later. I've got to run to Lowe's and get more wood because, like I said, these are different. These are not what we're doing for our signs for the orders, but while we were sitting here, I just got a $300 order in, so I better get going.
Hey, how far apart are y'all? Yeah, y'all fairly close.
15 minutes.
15, 15,
Oh, is that
20
it?
minutes somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm on the north side of one little town, and there's an 8-mile stretch between our towns. So, yeah, it's not terribly far, but it's So, yeah, my shop is calling me. I have to get moving, you guys. I will see you very
Thanks
soon.
for coming, Chris.
Enjoy you guys this day. We'll see you later.
good
Bye.
to see you, Chris. I feel kind of bad now, Nick,
Why is that?
because she's running, doing all this, doing all that, and I'm trying to think if I even want to get up and go outside today.
I was gonna say, you two would probably like to trade until you do, and then you'd want to trade back. I bet.
No, I don't want to trade with her. She's too busy.
I know, right?
I would probably die of a heart attack if I had to do that. But I might win. I might win at these challenges that you got to run all over if I had her schedule.
Yeah. Well, now you're in real trouble. Look who's here.
Oh goodness!
Hey,
Hey.
Hey, Jesse.
what's going on? Nick, I haven't seen you on live in such a long time. I almost forgot.
Yeah, isn't it good?
I'm telling you, out of sight, out of mind, Bubba.
No,
I know. Well,
I think you and Danielle been going on these little honeymoon spurts every now and then.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
Yeah.
probably what they're doing.
I don't know what y'all doing in the garden, but it's keeping you away from your lives. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why we haven't been live, because we had better stuff going on. So you can just imagine whatever that might be. But
I understand. It's the season of being bountiful.
yeah, that's right. Time to make hay. It's
right.
that season where we're busy with stuff, and YouTube takes a back seat. But I try to say hello to everybody when I can.
No, I see you pop in. You pop in almost every live I'm in. And you may not stay there, but you pop in. That means a lot to the host. I mean, even if you pop in for 2 seconds, and Chuck, you done made your merit right there. Yeah.
Well, I try to say hello to everybody and keep my relationships connected. But I have other stuff going on, so I'll get the notifications on my phone, and I'll pop in, make sure people know that, hey, I'm
still alive. I'm still alive.
At least gonna say hello. But sometimes I feel real bad, that I can't sit there and talk and watch what they're sharing and all that. But I got other stuff going on, and you got to prioritize stuff. I tell people,
I hear you. I'm just saying, I'm glad to see you again. I mean, it's you get in this routine. If we see Chuck every Tuesday, Chuck, and then all of a sudden he stops for a week or two, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah.
I got to have my dose of mayhem at least once a week.
Hey, I don't do that. I get Jesse to do my moderating or my
fill in. I'm your substitute teacher.
My substitute teacher.
Yeah, the class runs amok when he's gone too.
Class runs amok. It really is good to see you, Nick. I actually check near about every Thursday, and I don't know how long you've been off, but every Thursday I get over. I say, well, I got to go check on Nick, and I can't find him, so I look in the community page and see if you mentioned anything about not being on. So,
isn't that community page something else? I really like that community page because, like Nick was out a couple of times, and he just let us know, hey, we won't be going live today because I got things to do or whatever, and it's great. You're not sitting there wondering. You're not sitting there going, hey, we ain't heard from Nick in I don't know how long. Yeah. He ain't written anything. You don't send no emails out. But the community page really keeps you connected,
Yeah,
so, thank you for posting those, Nick.
I was just looking, and I think it was only about a month, maybe less than a month, that I wasn't on because I remember the beginning of July was the second one that I missed, and it was when we were at the rodeo. We were at the rodeo till late at night on a Wednesday night, and I couldn't get up early to do a live stream. So that was the second one. So that was the beginning of July. So, it's not even August yet. So it hasn't really been all that long, but it's felt like a long time for me too. And it's good to know that I've been missed. I appreciate that, everybody.
You've thrown up a pop-up once or twice, hadn't you?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
it
one on the
popped up
4th
on
of
live.
July, and I did another one, I don't know, last week or the week before. But
Well, I mean, maybe it was just me, but I've been watching you on Thursdays almost for a long time, and then for
Yeah.
you to stop and do what you had to do, it not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like, wow, it's different. It's different not having that routine, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
but I'm glad you're back. Glad you're back. I don't know if I'm saying for sure, but I'm glad you're back.
Well, thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it, and it's probably a good example to set for everybody else too. That hey, Chuck, if on Tuesday mornings, you got something going on, even for a few weeks, know that people will say they miss you. If you leave for a while and you come back. I didn't know what would happen. I knew that it'd be better probably if I kept going every Thursday, but having that pressure might put anxiety on some people where just follow my lead that hey, it's not the end of the world if you have to miss one or two.
Well, but especially if you stay connected like you do by leaving your messages on your
Right.
community tab, you're still connected, only you're just not there that day. If you don't stay connected, then people start wondering what happened. Is he in trouble? Did YouTube get mad at him, or did him and his spouse have an issue, or what? People start thinking.
Yeah, right.
People start thinking all kind of things. But when you stay connected, if Chuck has to take off, he had to take off for that funeral. He let everybody know. Everybody was fine with it. It's like, because you've already built up a following. Both you and Chuck have built up.
Biggest live I ever had when they knew I wasn't going to be there.
No, you know what your biggest live was? When you just popped up. What? Because you know what? People, when you have a pop up, and Danielle does this a lot. People go, "Hey, something's going on. I got to check this out."
Yeah.
People are curious. People want to know what's, especially if it's hey, this is out of character. He don't ever come up on Sunday nights at 9:00. What's up with that?
Yeah.
So that's when you have your best lives, Chuck.
Nah, I'm too lazy to do most of that.
I know. We agree.
Yeah, we're agreed. Well, I was going to tell you something, Nick. What was I going to tell you? I forgot. I call you. Oh, I was going to say, YouTube in a lot of ways, and some of these lives is really the only way that we have to keep up with one another. I mean, like Nick, I've got your number, and Jesse, and a few others that if I have to, I could give you a call or text you and say, hey, what's going on? Everything okay, whatever. But if we don't have the YouTube, then there's people that has invested in your life, and they've gotten to know you through, or at least feel like they know you through YouTube. And so they do wonder, and they have no way of getting in touch with you a lot of times. And so I just think it's
I'll give you a good example, Nick. I go to a lot of lives, and there's this one person that we see in this live all the time, and then she just stopped showing up. She was out for over a month, and she didn't have a channel, but she's a supporter. She's somebody who shows up, and come to find out, she was having health issues.
Oh,
but
wow.
There was no way we could get a hold of her. I didn't know. Maybe somebody else knew, but I didn't have any way of getting a hold of her. Now, if that was to happen to you, I could probably do the same thing. Hey, Nick, you all right? I mean, I haven't seen you around. Is everything going okay? I could do that. But with her, I couldn't. But in my mind, I'm thinking, did she die? Is she gone? Did something happen to her? And come to find out, she was in the hospital for quite some time. And I'm not going to say who it is, but you understand what I'm saying is that we get invested, like Chuck said, in these people's lives, and even people who don't have channels. We talk to them on every live. Hey, how you doing? Oh, your daughter's doing this. Your daughter's doing that. Whatever. And then when you don't see them or hear from them, you think the worst. So, but I'm back to what I said earlier. You're not that way because you keep connected. You stay engaged in a bunch of different lives, and you always communicate on your community tab, which is, I love the community tab. Because that's the best. Because then I don't have to think, I'm not going to bother him. He probably has some things to do. Maybe he's got family in town. It's just a good way to keep in touch.
Yep. Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. And I have to mention. I won't mention them by name, but there's quite a few people. I'd say at least half a dozen who said, hey, I miss your live stream. They told me on whatever, a community tab post or just a comment on one of my old videos or something, to let me know, hey, we're thinking about you. We miss you. And where you been? You know, everything all right? Can I be praying for you? You know, people said these things, and you know, it only took me a few seconds to read them, but it really meant a lot in that moment to know that people were thinking of us and hoping that everything was okay and that we weren't in the hospital and you know, all those sorts of things, and that kind of thing really means a lot. So you know, if somebody does have a channel and they're gone and you think of them, don't hesitate. Leave them a comment somewhere and just say, hey, thinking of you, or something basic to let them know that you know, that they mean something to you, because it does mean a lot. And a lot of those people I would see in the live chats on other people's live streams and say hello to them there, and they knew that I was still kicking. But
right.
And you put up a couple of garden tour videos at least once a month.
Yep.
So I mean, people that keep up with you, they see what you're still kicking. You're just busy.
Yeah. We like I said, for those who didn't hear earlier, you know, one of our big priorities is, I mean, my 15-year-old, he just turned 15 in May. I realized I got 3 more summers with him. Three more, right? And and he's bowing up to old dad, you know, challenging him and all that. But man, I got 3 more summers with that kid who he's a man now. You know, got whiskers on his chin, not as long as these yet, but they're getting there. And before I know it, he's gonna be some man off on his own. And it was really important for us to spend time.
I got a 23-year-old still living here, so you hope that, or 24, he just turned 24. So you hope in 3 years he can go to the military or do something. But mine's still here, so it's like,
well, we'll see. I mean, you know what? If my mom was making that mango jam like that, you know, 4 cups of fruit, 4 cups of sugar, man, I wouldn't leave either, Jesse.
Me neither. You'd have to kick me out.
Yeah, that's what he said. She asked him one time, why, Mom? I got everything I need right here. Why do I need to go find an apartment?
In fact, you got extra room over there, Jesse?
Yeah,
no kidding. 2.
When I was a kid, you were probably the same way, Nick. I couldn't wait to get 18. I was ready to go. I was in the military when I was 18. So
yeah.
I left when I was about 18, just working and going to different states. And I come back, I don't know, when I was 20, 21, something like that. I can't remember, about 21. Got back to Miles, stayed with my parents for a little bit. And I was like, why did I ever leave? I mean, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, was leave. I had it made, you know.
And I didn't say that until after I got out, and I'm having to pay for this. I'm having to pay. Oh my goodness! You're right. I had it made at home. It's like, what?
Yeah. Well, I made a foolish mistake in that, you know, I read the Bible, and I was reading, you know, as soon as Danielle and I got married, we lived in the upstairs apartment above my parents' barn. They had this barn that was basically like a big garage underneath. It didn't have animals or anything, but there's a few bedrooms upstairs. And you know, after college and everything, I was working. I lived up there, and Danielle and I were fixing to get married. We were engaged, and we got married, and we moved into there. You know, that was our first spot. And then, you know, after a year and a half or something, we got pregnant. And you know, what comes to mind? Well, you know, a man shall cleave to his wife and leave his family, you know. And so I thought, oh, I can't just be sponging off mom and dad forever, you know, having a family. Who knows how many kids I'm going to have? And we can't just keep living here. And so we went and found a place, you know, bought a house and all that, and moved out. And years later, I'm realizing, what in the world was I thinking? You know, I could have just lived there, Danielle and I, and our kids, and man, we could have saved a ton of money and all this. But you know, there's something to be said when you you know, go out on your own and you're independent and all that. it's a different feeling altogether. It really
Oh,
is.
yeah.
So,
And it's
yeah.
kind of different with your boys and your girls. At least it was for me. With my girls, I was like, y'all stay here as long as you want. But my boys, I'm like, I'm looking at my watch and it's time to go. But
yeah, I think it'll probably be that way here. I think the only thing is if we move to another property, I've already enlisted their help. Hey, if we've got a property where we need ranch hands, you're it, right? And we'll be paying you a salary. You're gonna be working for us if you want. If there's something better out there that you want to go pursue, then by all means go ahead. But we'll make life real good for you if you stay on. So we'll see how all that works out. I don't know what the Lord's plans are with that, but it's good to have their help now, and it's just kind of sinking in now that I only got a few more summers left with those boys here. They're my dependents, right? And then who knows? Maybe they'll stay on for a long time. Maybe they'll be gone. But I got to make the most of the time while I know that they're going to be here. And connecting with other families has been a big priority this summer. So that's the main reason why I haven't been on the live streams as much, is because we've been up late at night with other families hanging out till who knows, almost midnight some nights, and I'm not a 20-year-old buck anymore. I'm having a hard time, getting sleep on those nights. So anyway, I appreciate everybody saying that they missed us and that they also understand. That really does mean a lot. Hey, look, Red and April Off Grid say we have room for all our grown kids on our 45 acres. 2 of them live out here on their own parcel. Oh, that sounds ideal to me.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice. Yeah, I think a lot of farmers got away from that, or their kids wanted to move into town or whatever, right? A long time back, and I think that's why the agriculture is big business now. It's not small family farms as much. It's because a lot of that happened a long time ago. So, yeah, well, I think that's the way to go.
Well, I didn't grow up on a farm or anything like that, but I can imagine, being a kid, living on a farm, doing chores every single day, from the time you can walk till the time you graduate. I can understand why they would want to leave and just taste a little bit of the world, something different than what I'm doing right now. I can understand why they would want to do that. But if they have a situation where they have 45 acres and they can live somewhere doing their own thing, if you got your own parcel and you want to do your own thing, you don't want to do the same things we're doing here, that's fine. At least you know where they're at. They're within earshot. They're close by. If you have family events, that sounds like the ideal situation. Like right now, I know what you're doing, Nick, but I'd love to move my parents in with me so I can watch them now, because they're at that age. They helped me live till I was 18, and then I plan to help them live till they pass. But I'd love to have a situation where I had a place of my own and my mom and dad lived right behind me or next to me or whatever, because they're getting up in age and they're getting to where they need to have a little bit more attention. So that would be ideal.
Yeah, that's what we're praying for sure. Yeah, my dad took a face plant into the water meter week before last. Yeah, he was all torn up. He busted his glasses and had lacerations and black eye, and he was on his knees. He wasn't standing. He was on his knees, and his arm just kind of gave out when he was over there by the water meter. So, yeah, it's stuff like that my mom kind of gets traumatized having to, sees him coming in dripping blood, and of course she thinks the worst. And he didn't need to go to the hospital, but it's those times when I'd like for him to, call me or call out to me, hey, Nick, need a hand over here, right? And then I can patch him up or take him where he needs to go or whatever. And so my mom doesn't have to deal with that as much. And she's a little thing, a little tiny woman, and she can't pick up grown man off the ground, So anyway,
I hate to see what that water meter looked like.
Yeah, Yeah, my dad's a boxer, so I mean,
There you go.
better watch out for him. He usually
Yeah.
has a startup, but I think he left one hand down that time. Water meter got one in on him, but I'm sure he gave that water meter one too afterwards.
That's right. Yeah. But Chuck, you said you moved over, you left the house and you moved to Houston for a little while, didn't you? Weren't you living over here?
I did.
Houston?
I did. I
Man.
lived in Georgia for a while. I lived in Houston for a while, and then moved to Tennessee. That's where I met Belinda.
Right. And then you moved after you got married. You moved to Mississippi.
Yep. Been in Mississippi. Well, we lived here. We've lived here most our married life. There was a few years we moved back to Louisiana for church work. You know, I had to pastor some churches over there, but most of our life we've been here in Mississippi, and I like it. I like Mississippi, at least this part of it anyway.
Yeah.
Her
Now,
family grew up here.
Yeah. Now, which is better as far as I don't want to say temperature, because I mean Texas and Mississippi are about the same, but Tennessee, I think Tennessee would have had better weather than Mississippi. I know it's.
That's what really moved me to Tennessee. I was in Houston, and I went to go visit my brothers up in Tennessee, and my brother that's just a year older than me asked if I'd come up there and visit them. And I did. So I went up there and visited. And he said, well, why are you up here? Why don't you just go interview up at the plant and see if they'll hire you? Well, I didn't know he had already talked to them, and I was already hired. It was like a done deal. So I went up there, and it's like, okay, you start tonight. I was like, well, hold on a minute. I got a job in Houston, Texas. I can't just move. But I worked it out, and I moved up to Tennessee. But it was beautiful. It was nice. The weather was just right. And moved up there in September, so they had a little cool spell come through, and it sucked me in. That's what it did. It just sucked me in. And them little creeks up there, Jesse, and Nick, you'd probably love. I don't know how they are in Arizona. Here in Mississippi, they're muddy snakes and everything, but up in Tennessee, them creeks, they're clear, got rocks, and it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's not like them creeks you got down in Mississippi where everything's mud.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are. It's I don't like it. I do to an extent. I mean, Mississippi's a good place, but the creeks and stuff up in Tennessee was just beautiful. I love getting on them. What's a creek?
Yeah, I was watching. I don't know if you guys have been watching A Little Southern Brothers. I was watching. They have a new channel called Southern Brothers Tennessee, or Southern Brothers TN. They just started yesterday. Apparently, there are other channels having some difficulties with YouTube. They've had some charges filed against them, or claims filed against that channel, so they may be losing that channel. Pray that they don't, but they're going through some time. So, and I don't know the whole story. I just know that little bit. So, they're needing some support. They need some people to go to this new channel called Southern Brothers TN, and to help them out, because if they lose that 30,000 sub channels they have now, that's going to put a big dent in them. So, you guys in the chat, you can check them out yourself, but it's called Southern Brothers TN for Tennessee, and they're desperately needing some support right now. So,
yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Jesse.
Yeah,
12 Stones is asking.
I don't know the whole story. I just know that they're having some difficulties with somebody making a claim on their channel, so having to do with the children. So,
yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
12 Stones is asking Chris and Larry if we have some dirt and creeks, some dirt and sand creeks over here. Yes, we call them arroyos, where the water runs underneath the dirt. You can't see it, but it's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
And we actually drove by Willow Creek, which is the nearest big creek to us that dumps into Willow Lake. And we thought for sure it'd be running because we had thunderstorms kind of all day yesterday. We got a bunch of rain, and there wasn't a drop running in that creek that we could see. It was all underneath the rocks. So,
that's pretty dry there.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it works here. Is that it
that
kind
way?
of stays underneath the soil. Hey, John, thanks for making it in.
Hey, Nick, the
It-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask. It just popped in my mind. Arizona. Now I've never been over there, but my wife came through there, and she was talking about some place that is like the Painted Desert. Is that over in Arizona, or is that a different place?
Painted Desert's in New Mexico, I believe.
New Mexico. I can't remember. She come through all that area. She was talking about how pretty it was over there.
Yeah, I haven't explored all corners of Arizona yet. I'm a California transplant, like so many people here, and in Texas, and in Tennessee. You guys have any Californians over there, Jesse?
Okay, we got a few. Believe it or not, I was born in East LA.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I'm born in East LA. So, but my parents moved back to Texas when I was 1, so I have no affiliation with California unless you're talking about where I was born.
I like you making that clear, Jesse. Yeah,
I'm making it clear. I have
well, that's like my dad. You know, he moved here to Arizona, and he had his whole life in California, pretty much. But his dad grew up right here in Prescott, Arizona. When he was, I think he was born here. His parents moved from New York. They were German immigrants, and they moved here from New York. And his dad was the accountant at the mine. Ooh, yeah, that looks like here.
Yeah, that's my screenshot. That's Arizona. That's a view, and I don't remember where it's at, but that's it goes.
Yeah, that's just down the hill from us. If you go,
that's how beautiful it is in Arizona. In season.
Yeah,
it's not always green like that, but it's gorgeous. I tell you what, Arizona's got the best sunsets. The sunsets in Arizona are you can't. It's because there you go. That's probably why it's in their flag. But they got the best. They got the best sunsets. I don't care where you're at. You can look north, south, east, and west, and it's amazing. And we've been to New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, California, Oregon, Washington. None of them are like Arizona. It's just I don't know what it is with those mountains and the way the sun is, and the cactus. Oh, the saguaros are the best. I think those aren't they protected in Arizona?
Yeah, I believe so. There's Saguaro National Park too, which you could go to, and of course they're protected there. But they're just down the hill from us, so we don't have any up here in the mountains. Right. It gets too cold in the winter, but yeah, you travel maybe 20 minutes down the hill, and you start to see those saguaros. They're really big cacti. I mean, really big.
They're bigger than a human. Small. Some of them are bigger than a regular human body. I mean, they're big. They're like a tree.
No, they are a tree. Yeah, for sure. That's exactly right. I was trying to pull up this sunset photo I took this week. I don't know where it is. I was going to put it up on our community tab because it was just an amazing sunset that we had. You reminded me, Jesse.
Yeah, one of our videos we put out. The thumbnail is where we were set up. We were at an RV park, and we're just an RV park. It wasn't no big place where vacation place. It was just an RV park, but there was the palm trees. They had the cactus, and we had to take a picture of it, and that's one of my thumbnails on one of our videos. But it's beautiful there. Now, Texas, they got some good spots too, but none like Arizona.
Yeah. Well, what about sunsets in Mississippi? How are those, Chuck?
The most beautiful in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's known. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of them. It's recognized as being the state or the place in the entire world that has the most beautiful sunsets. So,
is that right?
Really? I've never been to Mississippi, so I couldn't tell you. I've been through it, but I've never Never been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. We have some beautiful ones. I don't think it'd be like the Prepper Book Club talks about the dust over there in the desert gets up in there and probably affects it. I can imagine it might affect the the sunsets and stuff. And I know Glenda, when she come back from there, she talked about how pretty it was, and she had pictures in big. I guess it's in Saguaro, whatever you call them.
Sequoia.
Yeah, whatever. But she had pictures of those, that they got out there and stood by, and you could tell she was a tourist or a passerby because she was getting pictures by the cactus. So,
we do that too.
Oh, y'all still do that?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get pictures by that cactus. Yeah,
especially when they get the flowers out. When the flowers are out, if you get pictures with the saguaro, they're amazing.
Yeah, Chris and Larry is saying it's the state flower here. So
I'm gonna have to actually look it up. Y'all got me curious now. Saguaro. How do you spell Saguaro? Saguaro. I'm gonna look it up. I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
I can.
It's probably one of the prettiest cactuses out there. I mean, there's a lot of pretty cactus, but I love the saguaro. And
I'm sure it's probably one of the biggest in the world. It's a big cactus, that's for sure.
This is the kind of cactus I like, though.
Oh, the prickly pear?
Yeah.
I sure like that jelly.
That's the cactus I like. The prickly pear cactus.
That sure was kind of you and Lisa for sending all those jams and jellies out, Jesse. I love it. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what they are?
Pretty, yeah.
Okay. I got the right one. And they look almost fake. The way that they.
Yep.
It's kind of cool. It looks like it's got a bunch of more bulbs. I mean, the whole top must just be covered with them.
Well, but I think there's like anything, there's a male cacti and then there's the female cacti. One of them flowers, the other one doesn't.
Is that right? I don't know.
I don't think they all flower. I think there's it's just like your sago palms. You get the male sago and the female sagos, and but I don't know for sure.
Oh, Tony's telling us pure white waxy blossom of the giant saguaro cactus was designated the state flower of Arizona in 1931.
Yep.
Arizona hasn't been a state that long. I wonder what the territory flower was way back.
It's pretty cool. These things, it looks like they got arms coming off of them.
That's right.
And at the end of the arms is the flowers.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Red in April says, look up Christmas tree saguaro and Crested saguaro. Red in April off grid said, look up Christmas tree saguaro and Crested saguaro.
Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lisa said, let's send Nick some jams and jellies because she must have knew you were going to go into hibernation for a month. So you want to make sure your belly was full.
Hey, I opened them before Christmas, Jesse. You gotta give me some credit there.
I was hoping you would. Good thing they were sealed because they'll last you 2 years. So it might be 2 years before he opens that box.
Well, the ants would have gotten to them if they weren't sealed. I'll tell you that much. Those ants have given us a hard time.
Let me tell you, folks. If you're going to send something to Nick, don't get in no hurry by getting it opened, because he don't get no hurry for nobody.
That's right. When you send it to our P.O. box, it's like putting it in a time capsule.
Yeah.
All I get for these Christmas tree saguaros is look like people putting lights on them.
Yeah. I didn't see anything when I looked it up, but sure there's something there.
It just looks like people put lights on, or maybe a Christmas hat or something on them. I mean, don't they got thorns all over them?
Oh yeah,
they got some thorns. Yeah.
I don't think
it's funny, when you're traveling through Arizona, they have these, huge Shell stations, and they have these gift shops and stuff like that. Just about everywhere you stop, you're going to see some sort of a cactus. Maybe not a sahuara, but you're going to see some sort of cactus. And like you said, people over there taking pictures next to the cactus. It's especially in the Sonoran Desert area.
Native to the Sonoran, the Mexican state, square blossom state wildflower of Arizona. Well, I thought it was cool, but I don't know if I want a bunch of cactuses around me. We got briars, we got thorns, and we got them trees. I don't know what they're called, but they put out like big old thorns. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about? Is it a tree or a bush?
I think it's a tree. It
Yeah,
may be. I mean, they got
I know what
bushes.
you're talking about, but I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Not mesquite, is it?
No.
No, we don't have those. I can't remember the name of them, but they got big old thorns on them, and I don't like them either. I'm just hard to please, and
Oh, honey locust?
honey locust. I think that's what it is. That sounds right. I'd have to look it up.
Not
Show a
buckthorn.
picture of a honey locust.
It's not a buckthorn, though, right? That's a small.
Here are some images of honey locust from the web.
I don't know. I can't tell. It may be that honey locust. Let me get it far enough so I can see it.
If you're talking about a flower or a bush, we have one called La Corona de Cristo, which is it's a short bush, but it has thorns that almost an inch long. If once it gets big, and the crown of Christ, and it's got a stalk about that thick, so they get pretty big, and I mean they're like millions or hundreds of them on each stalk.
That may be it. I don't know the name of it. Locust sounds like it though.
Well, this is a flowering plant or bush, and it's called Corona de Cristo, or the crown of Christ.
Okay.
And if you were to take all the leaves off and you wrapped it around, you could put it, like what Jesus wore on his head. That's how many thorns are on it.
Huh. I don't know. Nick, I'm going to have to get off here. I've got to get a few things done. Despite what I say, sometimes I actually do something.
Well, I'm going to need to get going on some maps this morning. So I know what you mean. It's a little bit later than I usually go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you came on.
Yeah, me too. That's why I jumped on. I wanted to say I'm glad to see you again. And Lisa's the one that told me, hey, isn't Nick on today? Because he hadn't been on. Oh yeah, he is on. Yeah, he is on today. What a surprise! Let's check him out. Yeah, so.
Well, it's great having both of you on here. It's great having Chris on here too. So thank you for coming up and for joining me and for the kind words. Appreciate you guys, and we'll hopefully be back on next Thursday again. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Have a good day, everyone.
Nick. Good to see you.
God bless you,
Jesse.
All right. Bye, Nick. My Chuck.